All right, it's time for our hat tip of the week. We're gonna tip our hats. We're gonna recommend things. We're gonna save your life. We're gonna improve the quality of your life with these hat tips. Isn't that right?
We're gonna improve the quality of your life.
Teklian.TV is good for your health.
My hat tip might or might not improve the quality of your life depending on how you live your life. But it's a really cool thing that's been around for a little bit. We're going to talk about it.
Go ahead and talk about it.
Uber. Uber is uber awesome. Uber is this kind of like a taxi service. You can be an Uber driver or Uber customer. You have a little app and you can just select, I need a ride someplace. And someone who is an Uber driver will come and pick you up and take you there, and you pay them using Google Wallet. That's
mind-blowing.
It's mind-blowing. I mean, I opened the app a couple times and it says the closest Uber driver is like 13 minutes away. It's like I could have a ride here in 13 minutes to take me wherever I want to go. They choose their rates, I believe. Gas prices are a little bit different in different areas, so people can choose their own rates to tell you what the rate is. And you can just, you pay them using Google Wallet at the end of your ride. There's different options. You can, depending on what type of car you have to sign up for a different option of what service you're offering. So you can just get, I don't remember what the names for the different classes are, but there's like a regular car, have a luxury car pick you up. It would be something like a Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, something like that, a really higher end car. And there's an option to have like if someone has like a limo or something, they can pick you up in that. There's 4 different options. I don't remember what all of them are, but you can just arrange pickup in that. And obviously as you go up quality, I think the other one was a van. As you go up, it's gonna be a little bit more money, but it's so cool. Like I open it once in a while, just like, hey, 3 minutes away. If I need to ride somewhere, I could just call this person over. It's probably best for people in like New York.
Yeah.
Big cities where they don't want to rely on an old smelly taxi. I mean, if there's probably lots of Uber drivers around there. It's like, 2 minutes away. I'll have a ride here in 2 minutes to take me where I want to go. I don't have to walk 12 blocks.
So now an Uber driver, is that just like I can become an Uber driver?
Yeah.
So it's just anybody. Anybody's like, I'm okay with offering people rides.
Yeah, pretty sure anybody can become an Uber driver. You obviously want to live in a spot where you gonna get business. I'll tell you right now, I'm sure there's probably not that many people around me.
So it's kind of like there are 2 good sides to this app. One is if you need a ride, here you go, check this out. The other side is if you drive around a lot and you want to make some extra cash. If you go missing, all they got to do is look at your last Uber transaction, right? And see who did it.
I mean, there's probably something you have to go through where you have to like let Uber see a copy of your driving record or something.
Yeah.
Make sure you have a valid license.
I would hope that they like filter and
I don't think people. You can just become a driver.
But that's basically it, right? It's not like Uber is a company of drivers. It's that it's a network of people who decide to become an Uber driver.
So, like where I live, I just went to their Uber thing to see what they have. The options that I qualify that they allow in my city are Uber X and Uber X Luxury, which the Uber X is any mid-size or full-size 4-door vehicle in excellent condition, and the Uber X Luxury is a mid-size or full-size vehicle that comfortably seats 4 passengers or more. So it's just like a higher-end, big room car. If you want to be an Uber X, which is that's like the lowest end option, you have to be at least 23 years old with a personal license and personal auto insurance. Uber X, I'm sorry, I've been saying luxury, it's livery. You have to be a commercially insured driver to do that. And those are the only 2 options for my area where I live, because I put in my city, so I don't know what you need for the other options, but it looks like depending on what car service you're providing, maybe put in a bigger city. Maybe I'll put in like New York or something. Something might have more options. Chicago.
It doesn't look like they have it in Las Vegas.
They don't?
Las Vegas, and it says no results. No results for Nevada. That's crazy.
So, if I put in Chicago, there's Uber X, and obviously I already told you what that is. Is the Uber Black, a personal chauffeur with a commercial license and a commercial auto insurance. Your vehicle must be a black sedan, town car, crossover SUV that comfortably seats 4 passengers, or a full-size SUV that comfortably seats at least 6 passengers. Another option is Uber Taxi. To be an Uber Taxi, you have to have a commercial taxi vehicle and currently a taxi driver certified and licensed by the city. So basically, you're just a taxi service, but you're getting business through Uber.
This will not only because I was thinking this might like piss off a lot of like taxi drivers. Like, I mean, there are taxi drivers all over the place in my city, so they could, participate in this and kind of expand their service.
They could expand the service just by participating in Uber. And the third option for Chicago is similar to the first. It's called Uber Black Suburb in the little things. It's personal. Again, you need a commercial auto insurance. You don't need a commercial license though. You can just have a regular license. And it's the same thing. You need to have a black sedan, town car, or SUV. The comfortably seats 4. Unless it's the SUV, must comfortably seat 6. And that one, the only difference between the Uber Black Suburb and Uber Black is Uber Black Suburb, you don't need that commercial license, just commercial auto insurance. So it's really cool. Like if you wanted right now, if they offered it in your city, you could participate as an Uber X driver, which means at least 20. That's odd. In my state, it's at 23. For Chicago, it's saying 21. You just need personal auto insurance and personal license. You don't need anything else.
That's interesting. So when you lost your keys this morning,
yeah,
if you were out of a car, you could have had somebody come and pick you up.
Yeah, and all payments are through Google Wallet. It's now integrated with Google Maps, so when you're in Google Maps looking, I haven't actually tested it out yet, but supposedly when you're in Google Maps or whatever, looking for an address, it'll prompt you to be like, oh, I need an Uber driver to this address or something. Really, really cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think Uber's great. I don't see myself having a need for it. I think it would be great if I could be an Uber driver one day, but it really is. Especially
since when you go and look for it, it's just kind of like, oh, there's one in the area. So it's kind of like you could just be going out and doing whatever.
Here, I'm going to send this to you. In Las Vegas, you can only have, I just sent it to you in the chat.
Yeah.
You can only have a Uber X. They don't allow the other ones. I guess each city can choose, what they do and don't allow. Yeah. Probably Las Vegas because they rely heavily on the taxi industry. They want to make,
definitely.
They want to make sure they make that tax money with this way. They're kind of relying on the person to claim it on their taxes. They can't really, there's no surefire way for them to check up on it, I guess. Here, I'll send you this link. It's so you can pull up. It's the link to all the cities. You just search by city, not state. And that's how I found Las Vegas in there. But
that's very, I wouldn't see myself using it or needing it or anything, but it's just really interesting.
Yeah.
It's an interesting new way of looking at that.
And honestly, if I ever took a trip to the city, I might give it a try. Just try it.
Not have to worry about parking.
Exactly. And you could even, then when you get out, or as you're getting out, maybe you're going to see a show or something, you're in the city, out to see the show. You know the show's ending, just be like, well, this Uber driver can be here in 10 minutes. Tell him to meet me out front. There you go.
It's like quick access to a taxi, but not a taxi.
It's not a taxi.
It smells better than a taxi.
Yeah, it's like you're actually in a car.
It's like you just got a buddy. It's like I got a buddy that'll come pick me up. I've never met him before, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
Unless the person picking you up is from Uber Taxi, in which case they are a taxi.
Yeah, then you're like, oh man.
But everything else, like I love the option. Like I know the price is probably more up there, but like personal chauffeur, like there's people with like high-end sedans using Uber where you can just be like, have like a car pick you up like you're a movie star.
How cool would that be? Like you're like out meeting having lunch with a bunch of old friends from high school, and you're just like, oh, my chauffeur will be here any moment.
Or for you extroverts out there, you out having a good time with some friends at the end of the night in the city, can't drive home. No, you can't. Get a ride. Use Uber.
It's very good.
Don't lose your license for like 6 months.
And don't like crash and die forever.
And kill somebody else and drunk drive.
Some innocent bystander.
I think Uber's really cool, has a lot of potential. I kind of do want to try it. I think I might try it one day. Maybe this summer. I'll plan a night out or something and use Uber as my method of transport.
Try it out. Let us know if you keep your kidney.
Or if you do use it, let us know what you think. If you're an Uber driver and you're watching this, let us know what it's like. If there's anything we don't know about the driving process, tell us. Be like, oh, you have to get certified or do this or do that. Let us know what it is if you know.
Before I get to my hat tip, I would like to give a shout out to one of our affiliates called Namecheap. Namecheap is exactly what it sounds like. You get a name, very cheap. It's actually where we got our domain, our Teklian.TV domain, because .tv domain names are usually pretty expensive, and they were the cheapest I had ever seen on Namecheap. They were what was it? Do you remember the price? It was like half the price that we saw everywhere else.
Wasn't bad price at all.
It was like half the price. Seriously, everywhere else was like 60. And then Namecheap, it was like 25 or something.
Yeah.
It was really good. Go to Teklian.TV /Namecheap, use our special link, and you go through us. It's nice. We're sharing love. They have .com domains as low as $3.98 a year. You can get it just .com. If you want to have like your own special little email, they've got email hosting, or you can just get the domain and just use your domain somewhere else. The cool thing about using your own personal domain with your email is that you always get to keep it. You know, if you're using like Hotmail or Gmail or Outlook, whatever. But if you're using a .com that's like your own name, that looks really professional. That looks pretty awesome. People are like, wow, this guy's a thing. So you'll get free WhoisGuard on your domain for the first year. It's $288 a year after that. We have that on ours. So if you were to do a Whois lookup on Teklian.TV, it's not going to show my personal address and contact information, which is a good idea. It's not a good idea to have like someone just look that up and be like, I know where you live now. So you get free WhoisGuard, and $288 a year after that is really cheap. So I'm going to definitely renew that. They got SSL certificates. They've got hosting available. They do shared hosting, reseller hosting, VPS, which is virtual private server hosting. You can get a dedicated server. You can get email hosting, 99.9% uptime, 24/7 support, which I actually took advantage of that the other day. I had a question. It was like 3 a.m. I was like, I'm not sleeping. I'm trying to do stuff, Teklian stuff. And I just went onto the live chat thing and got an answer within like 2 minutes. It was really awesome. They've got high security, high performance. Definitely go check them out if you're looking for a domain, if you're looking for any kind of hosting, server, anything like that. Check out Namecheap. Check them out. Use our link, Teklian.TV /Namecheap.
Namecheap.
Namecheap. Get names for real cheap.
Do it up, get a domain, look professional. Always want to try a site for something? Start it up, give it a shot. You can get your name really cheap there. Why not give it a try? That's what we're doing. That's what we did. We get a domain and we're like, we wanted to do this. We enjoy doing this. We're gonna give it a try. So you know what? If you have something you're passionate about, go over there, get a domain, start. You gotta start.
And just that simple thing, just the simple little thing of having your own personal domain kind of changes everything. When we were doing our Teklian blogspot, the moment we got a domain and just attached the domain, it just seemed, nothing in the layout of blogspot changed, but it just seemed better because I had a domain. So go check them out. And while you're checking them out, because you know you can open up another tab, I'm going to talk about my hat tip of the week, which is called App Locker. I know you just started trying this out earlier this week. It's pretty awesome. So I've got my lock screen on my phone. So let's say I want somebody wants to use my phone. Like, hey, can I use your phone to look something up, or I need to call somebody? Yeah, sure, go ahead. But I don't want them to like go and snoop through my stuff. Don't open my email. Don't go into my Google Plus.
Don't go through my photos.
Don't go through my photos. That always ends badly. So you open up the app, and you can choose a list. So you go through there, and there's a list of all of your apps, and you just click on the little check next to it, the little lock button, and choose which apps you want to require a password. It's going to use the same password because I thought about this. I thought about using what if it used a different password for each app, so some apps can be more secure. And then you have to remember what password did I use for this one. So I went through all these things that I definitely, if I let somebody use my phone, it's not something I want them to go through. I don't want somebody to like hijack my Google Plus and start posting as me just because I let them like look up movie times using my phone's web browser, and then they like, oh, I'm gonna troll his Google Plus. Nope, you can't because it's password protected. And now there are different ways you can do a password lock. You can do a PIN, which I currently have a PIN. You can also do a pattern lock or a password, like actual password, like if you want a long word or password passphrase. So it's kind of a extra layer of security if you want to be able to let somebody use your phone, but you don't want them to play around with your apps, or you don't want anybody to get into your other apps. Now, there's one setting I definitely recommend in the settings. Let's see here. If you don't enable this, let's say I go into my Google Plus app, I post something, I click on the recent apps, I jump over to my email, and then I jump over back to Google Plus. If you don't enable this that I'm about to tell you, you're going to have to input your password every time. Every time you jump from one app to another, even switching between two apps, you're going to have to constantly re-input your password. So what I did is I checked allow brief exit, and I put a brief exit time limit. You can set this to 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, up to 5 minutes. I chose until the screen is locked. So basically, what I'm going to do right now, open up Google Plus, and now it's asking for my password to access Google Plus. So I'll put in my passcode. Now I'm in Google Plus. Now I'm going to hit home. I'll go into another app. That app requires my password. I'm going to go home. Now I'm going to jump back into the Google Plus app. It just lets me go right back into it because I am still using it. Now, as soon as I turn the screen off, turn the screen back on, and I get back in there, it's going to require my PIN again to unlock those apps.
Now, I've been using this for a bit ever since you told me about it. Actually, you told me about it, and I can't remember what it was called, and I messaged you. I'm like, hey, what was that app called? I want to try it out.
Yeah.
I don't even lock my phone. Like, I just don't because it's easier to get into. But now I know if anyone picks up my phone, I'll let anyone borrow it. They can't get into it. I've locked most everything. I've locked my camera just to let someone use my phone once and took a bunch of stupid pictures. I'm like, I don't want to go through that again. Locked the photos, locked my email, locked my Google Plus. I have a lot of things locked. I locked my Hangouts, and I locked Google Voice. And the cool thing about locking Google Voice is my battery is about to die. Cool thing about locking Google Voice is that I have it set to prompt me whenever I make a phone call. Just because I have it prompt me every time I make a phone call, do you want to make this phone call with Google Voice or with your network? Every time I make a phone call now, I have to enter that password because it's opening Google Voice in a sense to ask me that prompt. Because all it's really doing is it's still using my network. It just routes through something so that it shows up as my Google Voice number when I call them. It's not like it's doing it over data.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So now basically you have to authenticate to send a call. So people can't just send a call through your Google Voice number.
I originally locked my phone app when I first got it, but then I had to also put in a code to receive calls. I'm like, no, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
So I just locked Google Voice, and then that makes it so when I send a call, because it automatically uses Google Voice to ask me that prompt, I need to put in that code to make a call. So somebody can't just take my phone and make a call. Pretty much everything is locked.
So let us know what you think. We're going to put a little poll. We're going to do this new thing, a hat-to-hat combat kind of a thing. You vote on whose hat tip you think is more useful to you, which one do you think is better. And this is going to inspire us to come up with better hat tips every week. So I'm going to put a link to that poll in the thingy. Click on it, vote, and enjoy the better quality of life that we have given you by giving you these hat tips. One final tip of the hat. Boom! It has been tipped. So we'll see you next week. Join us.